Krishna's Childhood Epical Tales, Dr. M. L. Agrawal. Introduction. A question from the king Parikshita and the reply by the great sage Sukadeva shall emphatically exemplify the need to listen, recite, and dwell on divine deeds of Krishna's childhood, transcendental adventures, and yet playful epical tales. Parikshita dishonored a sage's son, pronounced a curse. O Parikshita, you shall die certainly on seventh day by bite of deadly snake. Takshashaka. Parikshita did introspection and realized his egoistic mindset. He distributed his kingdom among his sons and left for the bank of the river Ganga on saffron cloth to indulge in meditation to attain fearless mindset from certain death. Many saints, including Yogi Sukadeva, arrived on their own inner will to help Parikshita in his quest. Parikshita welcomed all and offered the highest seat to great Yogi Sukadeva and raised a query. O Yogi, what is left to be done by a person who is cursed to die on seventh day from today? Yogi Sukadeva words of wisdom. At your query, in public interest, I shall answer your query and also help you in the process to attain fearlessness from incoming death on seventh day. Anyone who desires to attain fearlessness from certain death should listen, recite, and dwell on Krishna's childhood adventures and playful tales. You can attain fearlessness from death within seventh day of the life. You have at your disposal by dwelling in childhood divine deeds of Krishna with devotion and conviction. I shall narrate Krishna's divine deeds to you, an entire assemblage of saints and yogis who have converged here to help you and self to attain fearless mindset at all fear in life culminates in the unbearable fear of death. The query raised by Parikshita is query of entire humanity, and the word of wisdom uttered by Sukadeva are also the entire humanity to imbibe and act to attain fearless mindset to live in peace and bliss while alive. Priyatman Parikshita was fortunate that he came to know the time of arrival of his dad. Sukadeva narrated adventurous and epical tales of Krishna for 7 days. Parikshita attained fearlessness from incoming certain death. We all know that there is nothing more certain than the death, yet none of us think and plan to attain fearlessness from death. Parikshita was lucky to know the exact time of his death. The curse proved a boon for him. We all know that death can arrive at any time. So why cannot we plan and fix our age in years arbitrary for arrival of death in view of our health, age, sex, and family history? The moment we fix the year of death arbitrary and decide to plunge in the art to listen, recite, and dwell in Krishna's adventurous and epical exploits with devotion and conviction to attain fearless mindset. The word of wisdom arrive at our door in many ways and forms to help us in our aim to attain fearlessness from all kinds of fear. I had fixed 2010 arbitrarily as the year of my death and plunged in the art to reciting, listening, and dwelling in mythical epics, namely Bhagavatam, Ramcharitmanas, and Bhagavad Gita, authored by the great yogis of motherland. Well, in 2016, and I am healthy and fit. Yogis declare Anyone who pursues the path pronounced by the Sukadeva with unflinching devotion and conviction gets graced period to complete his journey to fearlessness. Priyaman, be aware Krishna's adventurous and playful epical tales by addictive by evoking angelic devotion and emotion in the mind and heart popularly expressed and pretty bhakti. There are numerous devotion who recite divine deeds as per their own perception, therefore vary in presentation and narration. Keeping the above fact in view, I have made an attempt to prevent Krishna's adventures and playful epical tales as per my own perception within. This endeavor graced with me with treasures of angelic emotions coupled with fearlessness within. Prelude. Tulsi sings in ecstasy. In present of era of Kali Yuga, neither yoga nor sacrifice nor japa nor penance nor sacred vows and nor rituals are of any avail concept except chanting, listening, reciting, and dwelling in the divine name and deeds of Rama. In the present era of Kali Yuga, neither yoga nor sacrifice nor japa nor presence nor sacred vows and nor rituals are of any avail except in chanting, listening, reciting, and dwelling in the divine name and deeds of Rama. Krishna sings in ecstasy, fix your mind on me and devote it to me. Offer obeisance to me, pay homage to me. You will surely merge in me alone, I promise to you, because you are dear to me. Two great epics, Rama, Charitmanas and Bhagavad Gita of our motherland, and sages have emphatically assured that only best and easy way to attain fearless mindset is to listen, chant, and dwell in Rama and Krishna, childhood, transcendental adventures, and playful exploits. Pranaya. Be aware, these adventurous and playful tales are addictive by evoking angelic devotion and emotions in the mind and heart, popularly expressed as bhakti. Dr. Premilata Agrawal, Professor Community Medicine, Bhopal. My perception. Krishna declares, O Arjuna, O Hanumana, wherever there is a decline in angelic thought, emotions, and vision, and rise in demonic thoughts, emotions, and vision in the mind and heart of humans, I manifest in the mind and heart of humans the moment you even think of me to annihilate demonic thoughts and evoke and sustain the angelic thoughts to re-establish the dharma, the unselfish and understanding love for all the living creature in creation in his mind and heart. Elucidation. Thoughts. Elucidation. Thoughts erupt in the mind and heart due to all kinds of vision, voices, smell, taste, or touch sense. Every moment of life, whether awake or sleep, thoughts erupt due to past memories and the future plans. Whenever there is a my perception, Krishna declares, whenever there is a decline in angelic thought, emotions, and vision, and rise in the demonic thoughts, emotions, and vision in the mind and heart of the humans, I manifest in the mind and heart of humans, and moment he even think of me to annihilate demonic thoughts and evoke and sustain the angelic thoughts to reestablish the dharma, the unselfish and undemanding love for all the living creature in the creation in his mind and heart. Bhagavad Gita 4:7-8. Elucidation. Thoughts erupt in the mind and heart due to all kind of vision, voices, smell, taste or touch, sense every moment of life, whether awake or sleep. Thoughts erupt due to past memories and future plans. Thought sprout emotions in the heart. Emotions are finer expression of thoughts. Emotions are expressed by eyes, words and body language. Thus there is a viscous circle between angelic and demonic thoughts and emotions, which afflict the human mind and heart with all kinds, type and forms of emotions and intellectual peace and stress. Yogis perceive, evolve and then perpetuate that all kinds of thoughts culminate two kinds, namely demonic thoughts. All kind of demonic thoughts culminate in six thoughts: kama, desire; krodha, anger; lobha, greed; moha, possessive attachment; mada, pride; matsar, jealousy. Angelic thoughts. All kinds of angelic thoughts culminate in eight thoughts: bhakti, unselfish love for all living creature; jnana, atma gyan, to perceive the self as atma; vairagya, detachment and dispassion; daya, kindness for all; shil, celibacy; sat, truth; dhairya, patience; vivek. Each and every human being is born with the centers of angelic and demonic thoughts and emotions. These centers remain inactive and dominant in infant. These centers get activated with advance in age and environment. If the angelic thought get activated earlier than the demonic thought, remain dormant and vice versa. The demonic thoughts are powerful in expression through eyes, words and body language. Therefore, it is natural and normal for human in any age to adapt, accept and activate the powerful demonic thought that helps human to survive and dominate over other siblings, parents, friends and society as well. Humans who grow with the activation of powerful demonic thoughts shall be successful in all fields of action, but their success and affluence shall be coupled with fear and stress within. Humans who grow up with activation of subtle angelic thoughts shall be successful in all the fields of action, with affluence coupled with fearlessness and zero stress within. The world is beautiful to live, not only one life but many lives again and again. This era provides the humanity with all kinds of materialistic and sensual pleasure, much more than ever before. All the creatures live in this world. This world is real. There is no need to run away from. There is no need to run away from this world. There is no place outside this world where anyone can go. Yogis live an affluent life in this world with fearlessness and bliss within. Puja, Pratna and Dhyana, Sumaran, is the holistic spiritual practice for humans to activate the evolved dominance of angelic thoughts over demonic thoughts. Professor Dr. M.L. Agrawal, Bhopal. Preface. Words of wisdom. The moment anyone chants, listens and dwells in the Krishna's name from deeds and abode, Krishna advents immediately in the mind and heart of the devotee and clears the mind of its demonic thoughts and fill up the mind with angelic thoughts. Krishna's words of wisdom. O Narada, my abode is neither Vaikuntha, milk ocean, nor the heart of yogis. My permanent residential abode is the heart of my devotee who chant, listen, or dwell in my name or many childhood transcendental tales of adventure and love for all the creatures and creation. Idolatry in one form or other, it is the most prevalent and accepted form of worship and prayer by the humans in the universe. Idolatry provides an easy and tangible support for meditation. Recite, listen, and dwell in the divine name. Form the deeds and switch mindset according to your own belief and faith for 15 minutes daily, anytime. Anywhere and any environment is more than enough to keep the dominance and angelic thoughts over demonic thoughts. It shall help you to keep a good balance of peace and stress, to live materialistic, affluent life with pride, honor, name, fame coupled with fearlessness, with zero stress. Dr. Praveena Agrawal, Director Jeevan Jyoti Nursing Home, Bhopal. Contents: Advent of Krishna. Contents: Advent of Krishna, Shiva Krishna Darshana, Putana Krishna Darshana, Makhan Chori Leela, and Dogris Province in Krishna, Ukhal Bandhan, Pallavi Krishna Darshana, Kaliya Krishna Darshana, Govardhan Darshana, Vinugi, Maharasa. Advent of Krishna. Advent of Krishna. O Vishwatma, this transcendental four-armed divine form is perceived by great yogis in their samadhi, a mental state of meditation. I pray you to desert this materialistic form and present yourself in your blissful form in my lap as just born baby boy to confer the most coveted title of honor, motherhood, and grace with all the angelicness to rear up and fear the Paramatma who creates the dissolutes and entire creation in self. I am equally conceived with great fear of your safety as newborn baby boy in my lap. Kindly plan to safeguard yourself from onslaught of the Dominic King Kansa, and also grace with fearless mindset to bear all the brutality that we are likely to face with your advent. Vishnu said, O Vasudeva and Devaki, both of you involved in the art of meditation yoga, thinking of my form and name alone as your natural born son, and the Paramatma as well, in due course of time, with maturation of your devotion of me, Krishna, conscious both of you shall perceive oneness, Rasa Leela in me in this life while alive. Vishnu said, O Vasudeva, soon after my advent as baby boy, take me Gokul, Yogamaya, and advent as a daughter of Jasoda. You leave me beside Jasoda and pick up and bring her here as a newborn baby girl. Yogamaya shall arrange everything for you to complete this transcendental divine deed in no time. O Matsuri, Feed me immediately, otherwise my cry shall awaken Kansa, and I shall not be able to protect myself. These words evoked motherly emotion, and her bosoms got filled with the milk, the nectar. Advent of Krishna. Advent of Krishna. Vishnu advent as a baby boy in lap of Devaki. She feeds Krishna, drenched with the mother's love, and sleeps in the transcendental bliss. At this moment, Vasudeva picks up and holds Krishna close to his bosom and soon sleeps in transcendental bliss. Vasudeva accomplishes the transcendental divine deeds as ordained. Under the spell of Yog Maya, on waking up from spell, Vasudeva finds himself in a prison cell and baby girl in a lap of Devaki. In the early hours, the news of birth of a baby spread like wildfire. Kansa snatched the baby girl and whirled her to dash against prison wall. Baby girl slipped out the Kansa's hand, and the advent as Devi Durga with deadly weapon in 8 arms, riding and wearing lion. Devi Durga said, "O foolish demon Kansa, what did you gain by slaying 7 newborn before me? And now me, the 8th born, your dad had advent here, and Siphon to say, retreat, your death is certain as proclaimed long back." This prophecy further infused fear of death in the mind and heart of Kansa, who retreats fuming with rage. Nandotsava, birth celebration of Krishna at Gokul in early hours of morning. Krishna registered his advent by emitting divine cry, the soundless sound of Om Om. Krishna's divine sound Om echoes in the entire universe, and all the celestials in the galaxy perceive the advent of Krishna in human form and sleep in bliss with the angel thought that after years we shall have darshana of Vishnu as a baby boy. Listening the melodious sounds of Ma Ma Ma, Yashoda comes out of her bliss and immediately feeds Krishna Gopals and Gopis, celebrate the birth of Krishna with all the gaiety, dances, songs and praise of Narayana. Let us sing Nand ke Anand Bhayo Jai Jashoda Lal ki. Bhakt Jana Riha Rahe Dekha Shobha Lal ki. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. 2. Shiva Krishna Darshan. Devotees perceive the glimpse of Krishna consequent when they feel thrilled within with flow of love, tear due to melting of their emotions of love, devotion and adoration for Krishna. Priyadarshini. None can have even glimpse of Krishna conscious without reciting, listening and dwelling in the childhood exploits of Krishna and thus shedding love tears of emotions, pangs for Krishna alone. Krishna Charitmanas. Elucidation. Sutra of love tears for the Krishna Darshan is universal. Shiva, the Devdi Deva, also could have Krishna Darshana only after copious flows of devotion tears in a great remorse and distress due to the blank refuse of Jashoda and let him have darshan of Krishna. Priyatman. A question erupted in the mind. How can I evoke emotion pangs or shed love tears of Krishna? Darshana. Just think of someone for whom tears flow out easily from your eyes. In my case, my love tear flows out promptly and copiously from my eyes just by thinking of my mom. As I lost her when I was only 2 years, I do not have any object or photo with me. Only her thought make me highly emotional and more so than often in my old age of more than 80. I have located her in my mind that the star that is the closest to the moon is my mom. Quite often, when I am alone and under emotions or intellectual stress, I move on, trance, and look at her with unflinching devotion and conviction. My mom showers me with her perceptible love. I do get relieved immediately of my emotions and intellectual stress and in peace and bliss for few days until her memory is in my mind. I get in her lap when I am in grief. What is mom and what is her importance in life? None can know none can know better than motherless child who grow up as lone person who may be living in the big joint family. Mother Krishna's divine soundless sound owned enclosed in all the seven lokas. Shiva, Parvati come out of their samadhi by soundless sound Om and felt delighted. Next moment, Parvati felt that Shyama is crying for feed. She left immediately to have darshana and serve Shyama. Shiva desired to accompany her. Parvati told that you, the male, cannot have entry today. The first day of work, only gopis, females have right to have darshana and entry today. You come tomorrow. Shiva had no choice. Shiva engaged in dwelling in divine name and form for the full day. Next morning, Shiva decorated himself with divine ash, loin cloth, Rudraksh, cobras, Damru, Trishul, half moon, and Ganga Nandiswar also decorated himself. Priyatman Krishna, Sudanga, and sadhana of Vishnu love and beauty. Therefore, cleansing and beautification of body-mind complex is prerequisite for Krishna's darshana. Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva departs from Gokula to have Krishna darshana. Let us also depart for Gokul with active collaboration of our angelic emotions in mind to have Krishna's darshana along with Shiva. Chalo re man, Shri Vrindavan Dham. Nandotsatva. Gokulites are celebrating the birth of Nand, Jasoda, Lala with dancing and singing. Alms are being distributed to all the sadhus and brahmacharis, tapasvis, yogis, whosoever has come to take part in the celebration and bless the Nandalala. Look, Shiva has arrived riding Nandiswar. Shiva dismounts and moves towards the main entrance to the Nandalaya. resident abode of Nanda Jashoda. Shiva declares, Devi Parvati distinguished Devi Parvati, dismissed as Gopi, inquired, O Yogi, what do you want? Shiva said, O Gopi, I am Shiva from Mat Kailash and have come intense desire to have Krishna darshan. Gopi quietly into convey the message of Yogi to Jashoda and said, O my, a young yogi attired with loyal clothes, ash over all the body, Rudraksh, moon, Ganga, and cobras around the neck, arms, and legs, with Damru and Trishul had arrived from Mat Kailash and desires to have Krishna darshan. Perceiving the peculiar, fearful attire of Yogi, Yashoda said, O Gopi, offer him whatever he desired, valuable gold, pearls, cows, grains, clothes, and ask him to bless my baby boy Krishna. Gopi came back and offers all the valuable articles with folded hand. Shiva said, I do not need any kind of materialistic offering. I am content with whatever I have. I just desire to have Krishna Darshana. Gopi convey the message to Shiva. Gopi convey the message of Shiva. Yashoda felt astonished, dismayed, and suspicious about his attire, attitude, and insistence for Krishna Darshana. Jashoda decided to pacify Yogi personally. Jashoda said, O Yogi, accept whatever you desire in quality and quantity. Bless my son who came as blessing to me by grace of Sriman Narayana. Shiva again insistively yet politely requested for Krishna Darshana only. Yashoda said, I cannot offer you Krishna Darshana. Your outfit is so fearful, even to me. Gopi, Gopis and all Gokulites, my son shall come under spell of visualization your get-up. I can make all the arrangement of you to practice yoga in calm, quiet, and devotional environment. Here in Gokul, at any place is suitable for you. Shiva said with heartly heart, O my, Paramatma has advent as your son. The fear is fearful of your son. It is Krishna who announced his arrival with invitation to come and have darshana. Yashoda contemplated for few minutes in utter surprise and suspicious. How can he say that Paramatma has advanced? How can my son, who is just 2 days, can invite him? Yashoda felt perplexed. She closed the main entrance on the face of Shiva, uttering that I shall not have you Krishna darshan ever. Go away. Shiva had no choice except to pray the contemplate. Shiva saw a big banyan tree in front of Nandalaya. Shiva went there and sat down in contemplation. Shiva Atma Nivedana, O Narayan, what wrong I have committed? Why Jashoda has flatly refused to let me have your darshana? It is how who informed us about your advent and invited to have darshana in child form. I never asked you to give me this peculiar attire that is fearful to human at large. It is you who had graced me with this particular attire for purpose best known to you only. O Krishna, let me have your darshan. Be kind on your devotee. Atmananda prayer from heart is one's own words, is the art to melt down the self within. Shiva heart got drenched with emotional pangs of bhakti rasa. There is a copious flow, there is a copious flow of love, tears over his cheeks for being denied Krishna Darshana by none other than Krishna's mom. Shiva failed to influence Jashoda's mindset that is under the influence of Maya, attachment for her baby Krishna. Priyatman, Krishna cannot bear the love of pangs of his devotees. At the moment, baby Krishna had no power except to cry at the top of the voice to register his pangs to have Shiva darshana and blessings. Krishna started crying suddenly at the top of his voice, with sobs in between. Yashoda and all gopis tried to their best to calm Krishna down, but to no avail. At this precise, emotionally charged moment, Parvati, distinguished as Gopi, who is witness to all the drama, said to Jashoda, O Jashoda, I am sure that the yogi has casted a spell on Krishna due to disrespect shown to his intense desire for Krishna Darshana. Yashoda introspects with choked voice, O Narayan, I am fool, I showed disrespect to yogi out of my moha, the possessive attachment and illusion. The Maya yogi illusion, the Maya. Yogi has casted a spell on Krishna. Jashoda rushed out of Nandalaya and, and straight went down at feet of Shiva, who was contemplating with copious flow of tears flowing from eyes. Jashoda said, O Yogi, I bow at your feet. Kindly excuse me for my being distressful to you and your words. Krishna is crying as if under some kind of spell. I request you to grace my residence with your lotus feet and bless Krishna. You can have Krishna darshan to your heart's content by keeping him in your lap and play him with him. Be kind to retrieve me from this emotional stress and my son from evil spell. Shiva gracefully followed Jashoda coupled with dancing and singing in delight. Shiva graceful and blissful eyes meet the lotus eyes of Krishna. Soon Krishna emitted Kilkari and sounded a sign of delight and bliss. Jashoda said, O Yogi, it seems my Krishna knows you very well. His spell has vanished in a moment just by your darshana. Now hold Krishna in your lap and bless him that from this moment onwards Krishna shall never be affected with any kind of spell ever. Jashoda offers to Shiva to hold in his arms. That is Jashoda gave Krishna in Bhiksha of Shiva. None ever had such a Anmol Diksha ever Shiva holds Krishna in his hand and placed him close to his bosom and slips in transcendental bliss. Shiva placed Krishna's feet over his head and said, Jashoda, lo, Krishna shall always be blissful, radiating bliss to everyone who shall have his darshana. Shiva left Nangalaya dancing and singing song in praise of Krishna. Words of wisdom. Radha has no wealth of any kind except love tears. O gopis, the price of priceless perception darshan of Krishna. Krishna conscious is tears full of pangs of emotional love and devotion for Krishna alone. Putna Krishna Darshana, Putna Moksha. Putna Krishna Darshana is one of the most blissful childhood adventurous tale of Krishna. Tale of Krishna. Anyone who can dwell in this divine tale shall evoke angelic emotion or devotion in his heart and mind for Krishna consciousness. Krishna concise. Putna is symbolic of demonism. Putna is ever young, omnipresent, and omnipotent to vitiate angelism in no time. Putna inborn nature is Bulgatri, i.e., vitiate the child psychic. Angel is Krishna. Angel in child to kill the angelic thoughts, emotions, and visions in the child mind and heart. Putna has been commanded by Kansa to, to infuse demonism in the mind and heart of Krishna, who is embodiment embodiment of nothing but angelism and has advent to infuse angelism in mind and heart of people in my kingdom. Bhakti Darshana. Putna, disguised as a milkmaid gopi, feed Krishna from her bosom painted with venom with an intention to kill him, yet Krishna adorned her with the most coveted title of foster motherhood. Let us evoke devotion with conviction in Krishna concise, the benevolent and merciful. Elucidation. Putna is symbolic for demonism and demonical mindset. Putna, the Agyan, the demonism enters through the eyes and ears to enslave the angelism in the human mind. Putna, the demonism, is ever young and immortal. Anyone can serve him from onslaught of Putna. The demonism by Patanjali, art of meditation, yoga, chanting, listening and witnessing the divine source Om or any name suitable to one's own belief, psyche and mindset. Psyche and mindset. Krishna adventurous tales of Putna Moksha. Kansana is agitated, grieved, and fearful due to prophecy from Devi Durga. O demon, your death Vishnu has advent in Gokul. Either you surrender in Krishna concise and live with bliss, or count days of your certain death. Kansa summons his trustful associate Putna, who is possessed with great occult power, and ordered her to annihilate all the infant of 6 days of Gokul. Today is the 6th day, Chatti of Chhati of Advent of Krishna at Gokul. Gokulites are busy celebrating the Chhati of Krishna. Putana planned to annihilate first the most well-known infant Krishna, son of Nanda Jashoda. The paint her nipple with venom with plan to feed Krishna during celebration. She disguises as Gopi and enter Nandalaya to accomplish her mission. Putana heads straight to Jashoda and requests her for favor to feed Krishna. Putana picks Krishna from Jashoda's lap and sits nearby to feed Krishna. Krishna took to feed and sucked the milk along with her life element. The prana. Putana felt excruciating pain and screamed in an agony and flew in the sky along with Krishna holding on her mammary glands. After a short while, Putana fell down flat and dead. Krishna was playing over her bosoms. Gopis and Jashoda rushed to pick up Krishna. They performed the auspicious Vedic rituals of ward off the spell casted by demon Putana. Look, Gokulites are chanting the divine name Narayana to ward off a spell from Narayan himself. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Makhana Chori Leela. As Leela obeisance in Krishna, Makhana Chori tops the list of 100 of childhood divine playful exploits of Krishna. In its glory and obeisance from gopis to Krishna. In this playful deed, Krishna is teaching the art of obeisance to desert all actions and fruit of action in me to gopis and humans at large to be free from bondage of action. Tattva Darshan, O gopis, O Hanumans. Atma Yogis offers their obeisance in me by the art of perceiving. Oneness Ras Leela in me Krishna concise devotional Bhagavadharth. Karma Yogis offer their obeisance with devotion in me as per their own emotional mindset, perceiving me either as their own child, Vatsala Bhava, or friend Sakha Bhava, or Das Bhava, and beloved one Madhur Bhava. Devotional Karma Yogis who offer even a leaf, flower, fruit, or water with inflicting emotional devotion, reverence, and faith in me alone, then I manifest and accept the offering with delight and appease them. Bhagavad Gita 9:26. Therefore, offer all your action of body, mind, such as acts you perform, food you eat, spiritual practice, and devotions as obeisance in me, unflinching emotional devotional reverence and faith in me alone. In this way, by offering all the action, thereby fruits of action and obeisance in me alone, you shall be free from bondage of action. Thus you shall perceive oneness Ras Leela in me Krishna consciousness. Concise Bhagavad Gita 9:28. Elucidation Tattva Darshana. Gopis offer their obeisance in Krishna by offering milk, curd, makhana, and chach. Krishna accepts with immense pleasure in person to appease them. Makhana Chori Leela is playful game designed by Krishna to help gopi humans, devotees, to desert all their fruits of action. As obeisance in Krishna concise, and earn freedom from bondage of actions while playing the spiritualistic, meditational, devotional game in the mind that pivots the Krishna Krishna conscious, the Makhan Chor. Thief is a thief. To catch a thief red-handed, one had to be vigilant, awake, aware, and concise every moment of life. That is how Krishna plays to awaken their conscience. That is how gopis perceives Krishna within their own conscience and drench themselves in Ras Leela with Krishna Krishna conscience. Bhakti Darshana. Makhana Chori is not the factual theft, as this divine theft is being conducted by gopis and Krishna in full knowledge and active participation of entire Vrijvasis, irrespective of age, sex, and social infrastructure prevalent in that era. Makhan Chori is most affectionate. Makhan Chori is most affectionately played playful divine game between devotees and divinity to merge the mindset of Vrijvasis in devotion. Bhakti Ras Leela. The sole purpose of Krishna advent to evoke unselfish, undemanding love for all the animate and inanimate creatures and creation. Empty Giriraja, Jamana, vegetation, currents, serpents, cows, birds, butterflies, and so on. Makhana Chori is the most lovable exploit of Krishna's gopis and Vrijvasis. All the gopis at Jamuna shore used to talk among themselves that we don't have delicious dishes to offer Krishna. We have only milk, curd, buttermilk, and makhana to offer him. He is going fast and we cannot offer these 4 bhog prasadam to Krishna. We wish that Krishna accept our bhog prasadam and our obeisance by conducting theft in our home. In intense desire from the inner core of the mind and heart of gopis, compelled Krishna to conduct theft of makhana, symbolic for the fruit of action. Krishna designs and architectures the playful deeds of Makhana Chori to appease gopis and Vrijvasis by playing the playful game of devotees with divinity. The 4 milk, curd, buttermilk, the butter are symbolic for 4 karma, artha, dharma, kama, moksha. Gopis and Vrijvasis could free themselves from offering their fruits of action as obeisance with unflinching faith and devotion in Krishna. We too can free ourselves by following the similar acts of obeisance and performed by gopis and Vrijvasis. Makhana Chori Leela. The obeisance to Krishna. One day, as usual, Yashoda serves variety of delicious dishes to Krishna for breakfast. Today, for first time, Krishna said, "Oh Maya, I do not relish this delicious food. I like the relish only milk, curd, buttermilk, and butter gopi." Sunanda hears these words and felt astonished. Yashoda said, "O Lala, eat this food today, and from tomorrow I shall add fresh makhana for you," and left to finish household jobs. Meanwhile, Krishna gets up, looks around, and quietly walks towards the churning pot full of fresh makhana, picks up hand of makhana with both the hands and take a bite. In this valiant act of theft, some makhana got stuck around Krishna's lips, nose and cheeks, and some fell on his cloth also. Gopi Sudama quietly observed these acts of theft by Krishna. Gopis could not restrain her ecstasy of this divine deed and burst into laughter and ran out shouting loudly and announced, "Oh gopis, listen, listen! Our Krishna Makhancho, this lovely name and episode of theft spread like wildfire among gopis and Brijvasis." Game plan of Makhan Chori Leela. Krishna, along with his friends, plan of conduct theft daily at one home. The friend belonging to that home shall abstain from coming to play and stay at home. With some excuse, we all shall hide near the home. Soon the Gopi mom moves out to fetch water. We all shall enter the home on signal from the friend. I shall conduct the theft and shall distribute Makhan to all of you, including monkeys, birds, and anyone taking part in our theft. Soon we shall move out. This play continued unabated in one home every day. Krishna became famous as Master Thief Makhan Chor. Gopi Savari loves and adores Krishna the most and vice versa and waits eagerly for her turn. Krishna knowingly avoids her house. At last, out of love, Rag Savri throws an open challenge to Krishna. Savri said, "O Makhan Chor, conduct theft in my home. I vow to catch you red-handed and parade you in entire bridge and present you to your mum so you get good scolding and even beating. How delightful it shall be to watch Krishna being titled as a master thief Makhana Chora." The divine play is at peak. Krishna desires to wind it up and bang to innovate new deeds to play. Krishna said, "O Savri, I accept your challenge. I shall conduct theft tomorrow. Plan well to safeguard your prestige." Savri confers with all other gopis and hatches a plan to tie up a brass bell at upper end of Makhana pot. Gopis move out of the home as if going to fetch water and hide themselves behind the house with a plan to raid the house on hearing the ringing of bell. Krishna with his teammates enters the home. Savri's son leaks the plan of bell to Krishna. Krishna addressed to Bell, "O Bell, do not ring until I complete my mission of Makhana Chori." Bell said, "O Krishna, go ahead. I shall abide by your command until you complete your mission of theft with distribution of Makhana among the devotees." As usual, Krishna climbs up the pyramid of his playmates, lifts the Makhan pot, comes down and feeds his friends. At the end, Krishna took a mouth of bite, and lo, bell rang up loud and melodiously. Krishna said, "O Bell, you did not obey my command." Bell said, "O Krishna, I obeyed your command in its totality. I do not ring while you lifted Makhana pot and distributed Makhana to your friend." Krishna said, "So what? Why did you ring at all?" Bell said, "O Krishna, it's my natural nature to ring whenever Krishna is offered Bhog Prasadam. Today you offered the Bhog Prasadam to yourself by your own lotus hands. Then how can I restrain not to ring with joy?" Krishna had no answer to this truthful statement. Savri, along with all the gopis, comes in and catches Krishna red-handed with Makhana pot, and Makhana spread all over his mouth, nose and hands. Krishna plead to let him go and promise to cover up all the laws by conducting theft at his home own home. Savri did not budge to Krishna's request. Savri picks up the empty pot, catches Krishna theft hand, catches Krishna left hand with her right hand, and moves to Nandalaya with all the assemblage of gopis. Savri's sons Dama was following immediately behind Krishna. At crossing, Savri saw elderly Gopas sitting under banyan tree. Savri releases Krishna hand for a while and draw her veil to cover her face out of respect. In this moment, Krishna slips off and the Dama gives his hand to his mom. Sabri could not guess the move by Krishna and Dama and arrives at Nandalaya. Sabri shouted, O Nandrani, looks, I have caught your Lala red-handed, conducting theft at my home. Jashoda said, O Savri, unavail yourself and look, Krishna is with me. You are holding the hand of your own son Dama. Savri and all the gopis saw Krishna everywhere. All kids appeared as Krishna. All of them departed chanting divine name. Shriman Narayana, Tattva Darshan. All the gopis, devotees, yogis are watchful at all the 9 gates of home. The body, yet Krishna can manage to escape from this body. How? No knows. Krishna said, O humans, there is direct confrontation between divine and devotee. Examples of Bhishma and Krishna, Surdas and Krishna, innumerable deeds between gopis and Krishna, Radha and Krishna, Jashoda and Krishna are well known. In such confrontation, it is the divine or divinity that is always the loser and devotee comes out as winner. In this way, divine expresses openly his love and adoration for his devotee. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. 5. Ukkal Bandhana. Ukkal Bandhana is divine deed in that Krishna comes under bondage of Jashoda. This divine game demonstrates sutras to bring Krishna under bondage. Krishna, who is free from any kind of bondage, comes under bondage of his mother Jashoda to fulfill her intense desire to bring Krishna under bondage to control his exploits with gopis of Gokula Vrindavana. In this divine game, Krishna has given 2 sutras for the human to bind him within mind and heart. Sutra. Krishna declares, O Uddhava, O humans, I am the beloved Atma of human. I come under bondage through exclusive surrender and devotion in me alone. Divine deeds of Utkal Bandhana. Though the divine deeds of complaints logged by gopis and counter complaints logged by Krishna ends up plunging everyone in divine bliss. Yet Jashoda, out of her deep love for Krishna, pleaded them to forgive her and her son Krishna for all his mischievous exploits. Vrijeshwari is asking for pardon from gopis, putting her pride and position away for the safety of her beloved Krishna. All the gopis assured Yashoda repeatedly that we all love Krishna as much as you love him. We all jointly narrated the logged protest against Krishna only to share with you the pleasure of divine deed played by the Krishna with us. They all theft Nandalaya singing Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai. Yashoda felt hurt because of complaints logged by gopis against Krishna. She decided that from tomorrow she will prepare Makhana herself so that the Krishna shall not venture to enter the home of gopis and conduct theft for Makhana. She took a firm decision to bring Krishna under her control. Now, Jashoda has intense desire to bind Krishna, who is ever free from any kind of bondage. Let us see how Jashoda bind Krishna. Next day, Jashoda wakes up early, look bath and dressed. Therefore, she puts a fresh milk on fire to boil, so that the milk shall be ready for Krishna when he wakes up. Yashoda engaged maid in other household works and sat down to churn the curd to extract fresh makhana for Krishna. While churning, Yashoda got completely engrossed in dwelling in divine name. Sriman Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. Meanwhile, Krishna wakes up and shouts, Maya, Maya, Maya. Jashoda, being in divine trance, did not hear the call of Krishna. Krishna walks down near the churning pot and brought his mother out of divine trance, insisting to climb up her lap for milk. Paramatma, who feeds the entire creation, is adamant for feed. Jashoda, overwhelmed with motherly emotions, left churning and took the Krishna in her lap to feed her milk, which was overflowing. In her ecstasy, ecstasy, her she forgot completely about the milk which she had put on the fire to boil. All of a sudden she heard the typical noise which emits from overflowing milk falling in the burning fire. Soon she smelled the burning milk. Though Krishna was hardly halfway through feed, yet Jashoda forcefully separated Krishna from sucking. She left Krishna on the floor and rushed to the kitchen, crossing the courtyard. She carefully removed the milk from the pot from the burning fire and got engaged in cleaning mess. Krishna, being unsatiated, come in rage. He took a stone slab laying nearby and hit the churning pot forcefully. The churning pot broke down with loud thud. Jashoda hears typically loud noise and emits when clay pot breaks down. From her experience, she came to realize that churning pot had broken down. She also concluded that this deed has been done by no other than Krishna. She also felt assured that all the complaints logged by gopis were based on factual deeds of her son. Now, her decision to bring Krishna under her bondage became more firm. With this feeling in her mind, Jashoda picks up the wooden stick to put fear in Krishna. Jashoda wants to put fear in Krishna, knowing not that even fear is fearful of Krishna. Jashoda came and saw the broken currying pot and Krishna in rage with tears flowing out of his red and swollen eyes. Krishna saw Jashoda approaching in anger, therefore Krishna runs away, followed by Jashoda. Look at the scenes attentively. Krishna is running round and round, occasionally looking backward. Jashoda following Krishna with wooden stick raised by hand. Jashoda is running after Krishna to catch Krishna when even a great yogis are unable even to catch glimpse of Krishna. Soon Jashoda, being elderly and heavy in body, gets tired, sits down, gasping of breath and profusely perspiring, while resting, feeling completely exhausted with her effort to bind Krishna. She prays to Sri Narayan. O Narayana, I wish to bind Krishna to teach him a lesson. Sri Krishna hears the inner voice from the heart of eternal devotee Jashoda. An impulse corrupts in mind and heart of Jashoda to try again. This time she could easily catch hold of Krishna's arm without any effort. Seeing tearful and fearful eyes with kajala flowing over his cheeks, Jashoda immediately threw away the wooden stick. She did not wish to frighten her son any more. Jashoda decides to tie up Krishna with the rope of Ukhal, heavy stone grinder. By this time, all the gopis and Gwalbal have assembled in the courtyard. Monkeys too appeared on the roof from nowhere. Krishna pleaded, "O Maya, I will never do any mischief anymore. Please excuse me." All the gopis and Gwalbal are also pleading with Jashoda to pardon him. Jashoda declares, "No, I shall not excuse Krishna. I shall certainly bind Krishna. It is you all who spoil Krishna. It is you all who logged complaints against Krishna. It is you again now pleading to pardon Krishna." Thereafter, Jashoda took out a rope and tried to wind up around the waist of Krishna, but to her surprise, the rope fell short by 2 fingers. Jashoda joined another rope and again it fell short by 2 fingers. She went to join rope after rope and each time it fell short by 2 fingers. Bhagavatam 10 upon 9 upon 5, 16. Jashoda failed to bind Krishna even with repeated effort. She felt exhausted and began to perspire profusely. She realized her failure to bind Krishna. Jashoda prayed again, "O Narayan, I desire to bind Krishna. I wish to bring Krishna under my bondage. I request you for your kind grace." An impulse erupts in heart of Jashoda to try again. This time, Jashoda succeeds in binding Krishna with a small single rope at his waist. In this way, Krishna fulfilled the desire of his eternal devotee Jashoda, showing us clues for binding Krishna. Each time the rope fell short by 2 fingers. This shortage of rope by 2 fingers is symbolic for 2 ways of sadhana: surrender by devotee and grace by Krishna. Jashoda ties up Krishna with Utkal. Thereafter, she ordered everyone to leave. Nandalaya gopis and Gwalbal left with heavy heart. Gopis were keen to visualize the fearful body language of Krishna. Today, Sri Krishna has fulfilled their desire by presenting fearful and tearful darshana. All the gopis crushed themselves for lodging complaints against Krishna to Jashoda. "Our beloved come under bondage because of us." Jashoda too got busy with her work, leaving Krishna alone tied up to Utkal. After some time, Gwalbala and monkeys came down quietly and told Krishna We shall help you untie your knot. Krishna declares, this knot is not of love and devotee and not of love and devotion in me alone. No one can untie this knot, not even me. Krishna comes under bondage forever in his devotee's mind and heart. Sukadeva declares, O Parikshita, O royal sage, in this divine deed of Utkal Bandhan, Krishna has amplified demonstration to entire humans that through he is the absolute master of himself, and although this universe along with rulers and subject to his control, yet he comes under bondage of his devotees who know no other than Krishna alone. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. 6. Phalwali Krishna Darshana, sailors and buyers of fruits of action. It is practically 6. Phalwali Krishna Darshana, sailors and buyers of fruit of action. It is practically not possible for any human being to completely abandon the action of body-mind complex. Therefore, one who deserts his fruits of action is in fact of relinquisher. Bhagavad Gita 4/11. Priyatman, every human being is carrying baskets full of his fruits of actions on his head. Humans are unable to desert their fruit of action due to their possessive attachment to subjects of objects. It is very difficult to desert the fruit of action for nothing. The divine deed of Makhana Chori guides us through practitioner way, prayogatmak sadhana, to desert the fruits of action. Gopis of Vrindavan prayed Krishna from their inner heart to come and conduct a theft of their fruits of action, as they are unable to offer the fruits of action due to their strong possessive attachment. Krishna conducts theft of their fruits of action on their request, acknowledge and active participation. Krishna manifests even today for all those devotees who pray from their inner heart to conduct theft of their fruits of action. This divine deed of seller and buyer of fruits of actions guides us through another practical way, prayogatmak sadhana, to desert our fruits of actions. Try to sell our fruits of action to any of your dear and near one. None shall buy your fruits of action, rather none shall even accept these fruits of cost. Krishna is only one who shall barter with us and humans for fruits of angelic and demonic action, just out of our unflinching faith and devotion for him alone. Divine deed of seller and buyer of fruit of action. Yogi Sukadeva declares, one day the old female fruit seller and enjoins loudly, phal lo phal, phal lo phal, taja meete phal lo phal. On hearing the sweet inner voice from devotee Krishna, who is the dispenser of fruits of action to entire humanity, manifests to barter for the fruit of action for grains which he held in his hand. Though most of the grains fell off with his hands on the way, yet Phalwali offered him all her fruits of action, just devouring the beauty of Krishna concise. Krishna filled her basket with precious stone and also offered his abode in barter. Bhagavatam 10 by 11. Divine deed. An old Phalwali lived near Madhuvan, close to the banks of sacred river Jamuna. She had been hearing divine deeds of Krishna from gopis who come to fetch water. By the will of Providence, one day in the summer month, a strong desire erupts in her heart to make a trip to Gokul to sell her fruits and have Krishna darshan. She filled her basket with 4 kinds of her fruits and walked down the street of Gokula, carrying the load of fruits on her head. She shouted loudly, "Phallo phal, phallo phal, phallo phal." She moved from street to another again and again, yet no one even looked at her and her fruits. She perspired profusely. She felt tired and exhausted with her efforts. She prayed in her heart, "O Narayan, more than half of the day is over. I have failed in my efforts to sell my fruits. I have failed even to have glimpse of Krishna, whose divine deeds I have been listening since ages." With these thoughts in her mind and heart, Phalwali reached Nandaya and abode Nandlaya, abode of Krishna. She saw a big tree with good shade. She offloaded herself and sat down to take some rest. She wiped off the perspiration with part of her sari. She opened the knot of her hairs and dried and retied her hair knot. At that very moment, Phalwali saw Krishna playing on the mold of wheat grains. This infused her with strength, and she called again with a sweet inner devotional voice, "Phallo phal, sweet juicy and palpari phal, phallo phal, sweet juicy and palpi phal." Krishna moved slowly and gracefully towards Phalwali and fulfilled her intense devotional desire to have Krishna's darshana. Krishna darshana drawn her in divine bliss. She was just looking at the Mukharvin, and her bhakti rasa was flowing out of her heart through the eyes. Krishna came and sat down in her lap, wiped her tear, and took her in deep embrace to her hand, perceived oneness of divine and divinity. Priyatmana. Phalwali is being embraced by Priyatmana. Phalwali is being embraced by Paramatmana when yogis fail even to have his glimpse within. Phalwali got completely drenched in divine bliss. Krishna words of wisdom. "O my, hand me over all the fruits of action to me. Don't delay. And as if under spell, Phalwali placed one by one all the fruits in Krishna's hands while devouring his beauty and grace. Shri Krishna went away and came again holding food grains in his palms. While coming, most of the food grains fell off his palm. Remaining few food grains were offered by Krishna to Phalwali as the barter price of fruits. Phalwali accepted the food grains in her pallu. In
In this process, few fruit grains fell off the fruit baskets also. Krishna ran away, throwing away her divine smile of grace on her. Palwali lifted the basket and left Nandlaya with complete contentment. Today, barter is the best barter of her life. Priyatmana. Palwali offered four kinds of fruits of action to Krishna. Palwali offered four kinds of fruits of action to Krishna. Krishna offered her four kinds of grace: pleasure of touch, embrace, precious stone to look after her daily needs, darshana and contentment. This divine deed of Palwali, Krishna Darshana, has given us yet another practitioner sadhana, prayogatmak sadhana, to desert our fruits of action. Like Palwali, if I pray with the immense inner desire to sell fruits of action, Krishna shall manifest to barter with his grace. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. 7. Kaliya Krishna Darshana. Kaliya prays, O Krishna, you are omniscient and ruler of entire universe. It is you, the creator, who bestows us with the nature and illusion. With that we are born. Therefore it is up to you whether you punish or shower your grace, this surrender in you. Krishna showers the grace to Kaliya. Kaliya attains moksha while alive. Yogi Sukadeva declares, O King Parikshita, listen this divine deed of Kaliya, Krishna Darshana, with faith and devotion. Krishna assured that anyone who listens and dwells in this divine deed attains fearless state of mind while alive. Divine deed, Kaliya Moksha. There is a big pond of water near the main flow of Jamuna. The demon serpent Kaliya, along with his wife, children, and relatives, came and took shelter in this sprout. The Kaliya was under threat from Garudev. This pond was protected from entry of Garudev due to curse from the sage. Hence, Kaliya lived here safely with freedom from fear of death. The poisonous vapor emanating from the nostrils of these deadly serpents had contaminated the water of pond and the surrounding land and air as well. No living creature and vegetation could survive around the pond. Only one kadamba tree survived because some nectar spilled over the while Garudev rested on it with nectar pot. Krishna knew about this poisonous pond and the deadly demon serpent Kaliya, who took shelter in this pond along with his family.
Sri Dama said, O Krishna, it is you who threw my ball knowing to deprive me of my ball, which was given to me by my mother to play. I ask you to go and retrieve the ball from the pond. Sri Dama said, O Krishna, it is you who threw my ball knowingly to deprive me of my ball, which was given to me by my mother to play. I ask you to go and retrieve the ball from the pond.
Krishna's own friend provides an opportunity to retrieve Kalia. Krishna lost no time and immediately climbs up the Kadamba tree to dive in the pond to retrieve the ball. Rather, Kalia and his entire family from Damones, he assures playmates that this Kadamba tree is immortal. I too have become immortal. I shall soon come back after retrieving the ball from Kalia and dives in the pond. Sridama came to his normal sense soon after Krishna dives in the pond. Sridama wails loudly with tears flowing. Oh Krishna, I do not know what happened to me that I like to fool insistively asked for worthless ball to be retrieved from the deadly serpent Kalia. This incident happened so suddenly that before Gvalbala could think about the consequences, Krishna has already died. Some of the playmates ran down to Vrindavana to inform Jashoda, shouting, "Oh, Maiya Jashoda, your child has died in the Kalia pond." Other playmates had nothing except to offer prayer. Srimana Narayana, Srimana Narayana. The news that Krishna had dived in a Kalia pond spread like wildfire in a whole town. All the gopis, Gopas, Nanda, Baba, Jashoda, Rohini, and Balram ran towards the Kalia pond. All are in grief and wailing. Balrama knew about the supreme power of Krishna. Balarama consoles them and asks them to join in prayer. Divine deed in the pond, Shri Krishna takes deep dive to reach the residential abode of Kalia. 7 wives of Kalia were guarding the resting Kalia. They saw Krishna. Seeing the charm and divinity of Krishna, they immediately fell in devotional love, the bhakti, and surrenders in Krishna. They all jointly, inquiringly, pleadingly, and softly spoke to Krishna, "O beauty of beauty, go away, run away. Why have to come here? Who is your mother? Who has sent you here? Do not know the no do not you see the certain death? O Krishna, go away, run away." Priyatmana, the female serpents, and more deadlier than the male serpents, they are at God to their master Kalia, yet they are all surrendering Krishna, Krishna concise. Krishna showers them with his grace and told them, "I am Krishna, the Jashoda Nandana. I have come to retrieve my ball on the request of playmates. You all need not wrong about me. All of you associated with me in my divine deed. I have come to awaken this Kalia, who is in deep slumber of Agyan since ages." Meanwhile, the Kalia woke up patiently and changed his sight with half open eyes. He saw that beautiful and charming child. Kalia got immersed in the divine beauty. Kalia's eyes got fixed on this child. He saw Krishna clad in yellow garments and decorated with a sign of Shri Vatsa. He had a bewitching smile on his beautiful Mukharvinda. He possessed lotus feet, though absorbed in this divine beauty, yet his demonic emotions of anger took over his angelic emotions. He rose with anger and attacked with hood and put his coils around Krishna. Krishna expanded his body and forced Kalia to loosen the grip of his coil. In that very moment, Krishna jumped on his broad
hood and began to perform Tandava Nritya. Krishna crushed all the hoods of Kaliya under his feet. With crushing of hoods, Kaliya regained the memory of Sri Narayana. Kaliya immediately surrendered to Krishna. Nagin obeys in Krishna. O Jashoda Nandana, we fail to understand what kind of sadhana provided our master Kalya to have the privilege of your lotus feet on his head. Bhagavatam 10 by 16 by 36. O Narayana, those who surrender in dust of your lotus feet, then they neither covet for heaven, nor the rulership of the earth, nor the kingdom of higher of lower regions. They do not desire to acquire yogic mystic power. They do not wish to be free from cycle of birth and rebirth. Bhagavatam 10 by 16 by 37. O Krishna, Shri Krishna, this Kaliya through possessed with Tamoguna has secured the dust of your lotus feet. That is even impossible of great yogis. Your devotees get moksha even when they desire to attain the dust of your lotus feet. We pray to grace him with your kindness. Bhagavatam 10 by 16 by 38. Kaliya offers obedience of Krishna. O Srinath, we all serpents right from our birth are wicked, tamogudi, revengeful and possessed with anger. It is very difficult for any creature to desert his own nature. Therefore, all the creatures suffers from various kind of demonic actions and emotion. O Shri Krishna, you are omniscient and the ruler of the entire universe. It is you, the creator, who bestows on us the nature and illusion with which we are born. Therefore, it is up to you whether you are punishing or showing grace. I surrender to you. Shri Krishna, who is benevolent for all the creatures, who is surrendered to him. Krishna shows his grace by losing Kaliya like a camel or bull. That is, Kaliya shall now onward obey all the commands of Krishna. Krishna orders Kaliya to move up on the surface of Jamuna. Divine Darshana. Krishna is riding on the hoods of Kaliya and his Tribhanga Swarup playing flute. The Kaliya hoods is moving in the grace with the tune of flute. All the Nagins were progeny and offering obedience by worship and prayer, by singing, dancing and circumambulating Krishna. This divine darshana for entire humanity, we are also witnessing this divine darshana in our mind and heart. Shri Krishna words of wisdom, O Kaliya, now you leave this pond with your wives, children and relatives and go back to your natural abode. Ramnik is land. At your head is now marked with my footprint. God Dev shall be kind on you. Kaliya comes to show Krishna aligned from his head. Kaliya left the Kali pond forever. Kaliya left the Kali pond forever. Krishna showered his grace on Kaliya while alive as he surrendered the conviction. The demon's serpent Kaliya prayed, O Shri Krishna, you are omniscient and ruler of the entire universe. It is you, the creator, who bestows us with the nature and delusion with which we are born. Therefore, now it is up to you whether you punish or show your grace. I am completely surrendered to you. Shri Krishna, the benevolent for all his creatures, showed benevolent separate Kaliya. I
this divine gaze. The dominant separates Kalia, got salvation, and lived happily. The Govardhan Dharana. O royal sage Parikshita, Indradev got enraged when he came to know that the Indra Yagya has been deserted by Vrijvasis and that too on the command of Krishna. Bhagavatam 10 by 25 by 1. Divine deed. The outraged, proud and indignant Indra released his most powerful and destructive cloud known as Samvartaka with an order to destroy Vrindavana with floods. The cloud known Samvartaka are clouds which are released only during the period of dissolution of universe by the will of Paramatma. The Samvartaka showed its hesitation at the order given by Indra. As the period of dissolution of universe is far away, Indra assured the Samvartaka that you move and I am following you, riding in my elephant Aryavarta and accompanied by great winds and storm. Here all the Vrijvasis were circumambulating Sri Govardhana Nath, singing Sri Mad Narayana Narayan Narayan. Soon the whole sky got covered with dark cloud with lighting the thunderstorm. Krishna could conclude that all these clouds, wind, lightning and thunder are out of season. That is Indra who desires to destroy the devotees in Vrindavana. Krishna realized that Indra through Satguna in nature has been entrapped in his own ego and delusion. Krishna thought to play such a divine game which shall protect devotees Vrindavana and at the same time help Indra to come out his egoism and delusion. Krishna, in a week under observation of all Vrijvasi, held the mighty mountain Sri Govardhan Nath at tip of his little finger, comfortably playing flute and throwing his grace seemingly. Radha glanced from the corner of her eyes. Krishna Charit Manas 3 by 364 by 3. Shri Krishna declares, O Vrijvasis, O Hanuman, O humans. Krishna declares that, O Vrijvasis, O humans, look at Govardhan Nath. Govardhan Nath has become very light, like flower. Therefore I have been able to hold in my tip of my little finger. Govardhan Nath has come to our rescue at this time when Indradev has decided to destroy all of us and our Vrindavan. Govardhan Nath shall protect all of us from the incessant rains, wind, thunder, and lightning, taking all the assault on himself. So all of you come in form of Govardhan Nath and feel safe. Sukadeva narrates, Shri Krishna held the mighty mountain Shri Govardhan Nath at the tip of his little finger from 7 days under full vision of Vrijvasi, Bhagavatam 10 by 25 by 23. All the Vrijvasis kept their thoughts and vision totally fixed at the Mukh Arvinda of Krishna. Krishna showers them with his Kripa Drishti, graceful vision. In this way, all the Vrijvasis got completely drawn in the divine vision and divine bliss. That is why none of them felt any discomfort from hunger and thirst. That is why none of them even felt tired. They were all nirvikalpa dhyana through pralayankari
Megha Samvartaka released his total power to submerge Vrindavan, yet not a single drop fell on Vrindavan. Seeing this unnatural feat, wherein the most powerful has been proved least powerful, Indradev got baffled and ordered the Samvartaka to stop the onslaught and return back to his abode. Krishna Charitmanas 3 by 336. Soon all the sky became clear of clouds, wind, thunder, and lightning. The sun was on the peak, throwing its warm rays. Krishna declares, O my dear Vrijvasis, the winds and rains have vanished. There is sunshine. So now you all can move out of the warmth of Sri Krishna Govardhana. In hearing the sweet, melodious voice of Krishna, everyone came out of divine bliss. Nirvilkalpa, Dhyana, they all felt overjoyed and came out singing. Krishna in wing under the observation of all Brijvasis laid down the holy mountain Govardhanath. Bhagavatam 10 by 25 by 28. Priyatmana, by his divine deed of Govardhana Dharana, Krishna conveyed that Sri Govardhanath is powerful to protect all the Brijvasis, including cows and caves, from the complete annihilation. Therefore, even in this era, devotees come to Sri Govardhanath to offer their obeisance with love and devotion. Even today, after thousands of years of devotees get their wishes fulfilled by surrender of Srinath. All the Brijvasis conceived about the power of Sri Govardhanath offered their puja with complete surrender in Govardhanath. They all took ride on their bullock carts and left for Vrindavana chanting the divine name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Maharasa, he who enveloped not only the gopis but all the humans and who is witness, Sakshi to all the actions of the body mind complex advent as a Krishna to sport with devotee, to immerse them in a divine bliss and Paramanand in the present life. Bhagavatam 10 by 33 by 36. Hearing gopis' intense prayer from their inner core of the heart, Krishna invites them for Maharasa. Krishna celebrates divine dance of Maharasa with sandy banks of Jamuna with gopis to drown them in divine bliss. Bhagavatam 10 by 33 by 2. Priyatmana, the divine dance Maharasa denotes union of Atma and Paramatma, union of devotee and deity. The stable mind is Atma. When the mind attains stability, then it is said to be in union with Atma. Thus, Ras is merging of mind with Atma. Maharasa is a symbolic for the merging of Atma in Paramatma within self. Maharasa is the state of ultimate bliss. Maharasa is the state of Purana Paramanda. Purna Paramanda. Maharasa is the state of mind where the devotee is divinity. Radha does not possess her body and mind. Krishna is her body and mind. Who can attain such a mental state of complete surrender in the Krishna like Radha? Radha, gopis and devotees are symbolic for the state of mind of Maharasa. Maharasa is the state of mind within devotee dwell, meditate in Krishna childhood adventure and love tales with him. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Thank you so much.